Hey guys, today we will be checking out a pretty interesting helmet that you do not see on the American market very much. Looks a lot like a German Stahlhelm that you would see in World War II, but it is not. This is in fact actually a Spanish model 1926 steel helmet. This would be typical issue during the Spanish Civil War especially, and you'd actually see them probably well into the 1950s even. They were originally designed in 1926, hence the M26 moniker, and then they started being issued about 1930, and they stayed in service, like I said, up until the 1950s. Very, very common Spanish helmet to see. They were preceded by what was called the M21, which was a similar helmet, but it did not have the flares that you see here. This one is actually called the Con ala, with wings is what it is, and the other one is the Sin ala, so without wings. So that's just an easy way to tell what they are. This particular one is an all-original example from the Spanish Civil War era, so definitely pre-World War II. And you can tell that because these rivets right here, which hold the chin strap in place, are actually hollow. And you can see that's a hollow rivet. Other ones would have a solid rivet, and those are definitely indicative of a later made helmet. Now these were replaced in about the 1940s by what was called the Spanish M42 style, which was very, very closely related to the German World War II Stahlhelm, from the M35, the M40, M42. So in 1943, sort of the order went out. The Spanish military was sort of going through all their inventory and saying, okay, we need to update everything. We finished the Civil War. We've kind of mopped up the last of the resistance. So Franco, the fascist dictator, decided, okay, let's get all our stuff together and standardize it. So they took all the helmets that were in inventory and they upgraded them. They painted them into a green from the original gray. And they also added, right about here, you'd see a bracket welded on that they could actually put an emblem or anything like that for sort of parades and whatnot. That's a very interesting feature that the Spanish really like to do on their helmets. And then you could take it off when you went into combat. So this one actually escaped those upgrades, which is very, very interesting. It's pretty rare to see that. This is in its original gray format, original gray paint, and it doesn't have any of the upgrades, certainly does not have the bracket. The interesting thing about this one, of course, is it's got a Nationalist Franco eagle stenciled on the front. So it was definitely a nationalist helmet at some point. I can't say that it didn't fight on the side of the Republicans as well, but who knows? Very interesting that it got done, and that's definitely from the time of use. This helmet has seen quite a bit of service. It's pretty dinged up. It's seen, to me, this looks like typical combat wear. It's not just storage. It's seen a lot of out in the field. Whether or not it was in the Spanish Civil War in active use, you really couldn't say. But it is an all-original example and just something you really don't see very much. The M30 or the M26s, are actually fairly common to find on the American market these days, and they're usually always upgraded. So, looking inside this, it's a very typical Spanish helmet. If we can actually get it off the head. This one, the liner is pretty rough. It's definitely seen quite a bit of service. We'll just move our glass head out of the way. And we'll replace this, which has actually come loose over time. So this is the liner, and this is the original old style liner, typical of a Spanish helmet from the time. Black Spanish leather with three of these